Hi, this is Crash, and this is
Dave. I can present myself as well.
You're not Dave, you're Sky Davids.
Oh, right.
You changed name, remember?
Yeah. That little detail.
Okay, sorry.
No problem.
Can I just check myself in the mirror? I haven't done that today, so.
Please use this in the idea.
Terrible as usual. So
No.
We're all good.
Yo, what's up? This is Crash, and
This is Dave.
from this.
What's something like that?
Well, your name is not Dave.
Okay, go again.
What you gonna say?
I know what I'm gonna say.
All right. Hello, fellas. This is Crash, and
This is Dave. What am I doing?
what a strange name. Is that your name?
Okay, let's go again.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hello, fellas. This is Crash, and
This is Sky.
from the Swedish rock band H.E.A.T. You are listening to Linea Rock.
Hi Crash, hi Dave, Sky. Welcome
Hello.
to Milan and welcome to Linea Rock.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so being from Sweden can be, let's say, a double-edged sword nowadays. Many hard rock bands are coming from, Northern Europe.
Yeah.
There's a lot of attention to the scene, but also a lot of competition in there. How do you feel? How do you live it?
Well, can you? What are the competition out there,
Well,
according to you?
I mean, there's a lot of bands, coming. Oh, okay, you've been around 10 years now, so
Yeah.
it's been long.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there's a lot of attention, to the Swedish and Northern
Can-
Europe scene. So, how can is it tough to emerge, for that, because there's too many, maybe, or is that like? Okay to have a lot of bands coming from there because all the attention goes, to
It's
the
a
scene.
tricky question, but I think in the music climate 2017 it's very hard to start a business. Whatever genre you're going for, it's super hard. It's lots of competition.
We were pretty early with this type of music among other bands in Sweden.
Yeah.
Compared to them, we were pretty early with doing what we do at the time. So.
Yeah, because when we started, we played full on AOR melodic rock on the first album.
Yeah.
And now we've it's gone 10 years, so obviously we have evolved a little bit since then.
Yeah.
But then the glory days of AOR melodic rock was in the 80s. But then something happened. Times got darker, and the grunge came, and everybody got tired of the glam scene and the AOR melodic rock. So it kind of died.
It got to a certain point, I guess. So there had to be a counter reaction to it.
And then it was gone for many years, and I don't know why, but somehow probably it had been gone for so many years that it was new and fresh for us.
Yeah.
Because it was like finding a secret chest of treasures on the attic, you know. You open up there, wow, what is this? So when we were teens, we really fell in love with that kind of music.
Yeah.
And the big 80s hair bands, Journey and Bon Jovi and Whitesnake. So we went
Crazy.
all in on that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that helped us to come back to your question. That helped us to be one of the first to kind of revive that scene again. And since then, this was 10 years ago. Since then, it's popped up a lot of new bands.
Especially in Sweden.
So it depends. Rock is a big word.
Yeah.
So if you want some help, a tip is try something new that's been gone for a long while. I don't know. Start a grunge band, maybe.
Okay, since I had also a specific question, about your influences and the 80s. So let's go to that directly. You are, as you already said, you are very much influenced by the 80s. So you, as you said, you all grow on that music and that attitude. But which was the spark that, made you dream about being rock stars and doing this for a living? A lot of artists from the 70s mention, the Beatles at the Ed Sullivan Show. Mm-hmm. So which was your moment that you said, wow, this is, what I want to do?
For me, I think it was very early on when we, before H.E.A.T, I played in a band called Trading Fate with Jimmy J and Erik Rivers, who is ex-H.E.A.T, was in there, and Kenny, who's also ex-H.E.A.T, was in there as well. And we played a show south of Stockholm in a place called Brandbergen, and I think The Greed played there the same night as well. Okay. This was like maybe 15 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And that I don't know why, but we had played some small clubs, and that particular night, it was the first night that a lot of people came to see us, and it was like, I remember before going on stage, people were shouting like, "Trading Fate, Trading Fate." It was like, it felt like the roof was going off, and we hadn't even entered the stage yet, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And then we entered the stage, and we had like a fantastic gig, and like in symbiosis with the audience, just rocking out. And that's one of the early memories I have from really like, wow, I dig this shit. I could do this forever.
Okay. And for you?
Well, the question was what was the spark, right?
Yeah.
So for me it was like when I first heard Guns N' Roses, that got me into playing guitar. And after that it sort of evolved, and starting to love bands like Europe and Toto and everything that came from the 80s, really.
Okay.
Iron Maiden was a big influence also when I was very small.
So let's talk about the new album, Into the Great Unknown, which is finally out after 3 years. That H.E.A.T spent part on the road and part thinking about the future. Mm-hmm. The title and its mood can be considered as a clear message that you want to deliver, about how you feel now, and or whatever. I mean, just discuss it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's in some way you could say it's a message, but I think it's our story, and we want to share our story. And in my opinion, many parts of the album is about these 2-3 years themselves, and what we went through during those years. And we had some ups and downs, because we had a plan to take some time off touring to only focus on the songwriting. Mm-hmm. And not many bands have that luxury to be able to do that.
Sure.
Like take a few years and just let's only focus on writing kick-ass songs and creating a great album. Because many bands at a certain level, they have their only income from the band. Yeah. So, and music business 2017 again, if you don't tour, you don't earn any money, because Spotify is not going to get you rich. So many bands they need to put out new material so that they can go out on the road. But we really we took a shot, we really tried to achieve something different and something really great. So and now I really forgot the question, I think.
It was about a new album, so...
About the new album.
So let's what's new and what's typical H.E.A.T in this new album?
Wow, I'd say a lot of new things and a lot of typical H.E.A.T, and you can find bits and pieces here and there, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think this time I think we have tried to not limit ourselves to a certain sound. We tried out various different sounds
Yeah.
and stuff like
A lot
that.
of experimenting.
Yeah, a lot of experimenting, and I think also that after this break, everybody came with their own sort of influences.
Yeah.
So it's a little more wide than previous albums, because we've been hanging out for like 10 years and we listen to the same kind of music. But during this break, I think we all like went a little on our own. Well, I wasn't even in the band, so I was
Yeah.
way on my own. And I think that contributes to the sound as well. That it's not as what do you say, like unified. I don't know the word, but it's,
some way we all felt that we wanted to experiment a lot, to find new ways.
So Dave, when you came back to the band, actually the record, or actually the songs were
Yeah.
already written, all of them. So
Pretty
which was your contribution to that?
it's strictly guitar based.
And some
And,
producing.
Yeah, and some producing and some melodies, instrumental stuff.
Okay.
But most of it was pre-written.
Which was the first song that you composed for this new album? The song that, got the ball rolling this time again after the break?
That got the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tricky question, but I can say just for me personally, I can say that we tried for a while when we started the plan to not play a single live show until the new album is out and really
Yeah.
focus on creating a great album. The first weeks, I think we all just had some time off and some vacation and just no music, no nothing, just doing private stuff. And then the weeks turned into kind of months, and then we tried to start. Okay, let's really start this songwriting process. But it was it took a while. It was kind of hard and tough because we were kind of used to be in the spotlight for since we started the band. But now we were kind of fading away from the light of fame, and we were trying to work, but behind the curtains. And all other bands, like you mentioned, there's a lot of bands in Scandinavia, for example. They continue to tour, and they're like, "Here's our new album,
Yeah.
new release,
Bang, bang,
new
bang."
video,"
Yeah.
and we're like, "We got nothing. We got nothing to post on Facebook even, because there's nothing going on. Because we're working behind the curtains." And that affected us in many ways, and we had a flood in the rehearsal place, so all our instruments and gear,
Yeah, I heard about
it was
it.
drowned in sewage water. It was
Yeah.
like this much sewage water. All the drums, all the guitars, everything. It was like, that was a setback too.
Yeah.
And that don't make you feel like you want to pick up the guitar and write a killer riff directly. It's like, yeah, gives you a bitter taste of loathing in my mouth. And then Erik Rivers left also. But eventually, okay, to make a very long story shorter, eventually we wrote the song Shit City. And it was kind of about that situation we were in then, away from the stage lights and floods and band members leaving. It was like, what the fuck is going on? We were trying to take this band higher, but we're going down. What the fuck is going on? So Shit City turned out, I think it turned out to be a cool song, and after that I think things went easier. Of course we had some other songs and songwriting processes simultaneously, but after that one I think it really ignited a spark, and I think we all felt like, hey, this is actually really cool and it sounds fresh, and this sounds like the new H.E.A.T album, and it got us going. And from there it was kind of a snowball effect. And the fun thing is that Shit City is about that period itself that we were in.
Do you feel stronger, after all that happened?
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot stronger. It's crazy. It's like I did a comparison a few weeks ago. We feel like a big battleship that's just waiting to go out on the oceans and fire off some big ass cannons.
Yeah, man. Awesome.
And did the dynamics within the band change? I mean, do you usually work as a band, or there are main songwriters, that bring ideas, and you work then, as a band? How does it work for you?
We try to work as a band because this all is yet again, I say, music business 2017. You have to work together. If you're alone, you're not strong, and one man can't take all the burden. You have to work as a team when it comes to all bits and pieces, songwriting and being on tour and everything. And then it can vary a lot who does the most of what.
Yeah.
In Italy, you have a very strong fan base.
We do? That's great.
You do. Like, Europe ever did, or Hardcore Superstar, which, of course, they also come from Sweden, just to name a couple. How do you explain this strong connection, and do you feel the same about us? Is there any other country apart from Sweden, of course, which is your home country, where you feel such welcome?
Yeah, I was just kidding. Of course, we feel very welcome here. Last night we went on a dinner with a big group of just Italian fans.
Okay.
They wanted to show us a local rock club. Yeah. So we went there and we had dinner with them, and we watched a cover band with them, only to have a good time and socialize and show that we are not the kind of rockers that hide away and hide behind the sunshades. We like to go out with the fans and talk to them and greet them and socialize. So we like Italy. It's always been a special place. But except for Italy, I think Spain is one of those countries where we feel welcome as well. But you have better food here in Italy, so and prettier girls, so
okay.
Yeah.
You said that on camera, you know that.
Yeah. Is that bad?
I don't know. We're going to Spain, so.
Okay, now the hard question. Talent shows are considered, the absolute enemy of good and true rock and roll here in Italy. A throwaway manipulated by music industry just to take, immediate success and not creating new careers. Basically something with no future, and in itself kinda, talents. But H.E.A.T found Erik, your new vocalist, and your brilliant future from, that kind of type of show, talent show, which was the Idol TV competition, which he won, and we can say you both, won because you find your new man. How did it happen? How did you approach each other? And did the band ever think, for a moment that it could be a risky business to have somebody from that kind of show? Or in Sweden, you have a total different approach than in Italy, both for your media audience?
I think it's kind of the same in Sweden. General mentality about that kind of forum or TV shows. But
it's a TV show. It's not so much about music, maybe.
But for me personally, I couldn't care less about Idol or TV shows or talent shows.
Yeah.
It's so irrelevant. What I saw and what we saw was a young guy with a killer voice that loves rock and roll. That's what we saw. Yeah. So that's why we approached him. And
how did you actually approach him? How did it happen?
Kenny was going. It was already decided that Kenny, the last singer, he was leaving the band. Mm-hmm. But we had one more show in central Stockholm booked, and we said that can we do this show, Kenny? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. One final show. And it was announced that this is the final show with Kenny. But, and we spotted Erik, and I sent an email to his manager. I said that Kenny is ill, so can Erik just for one gig, learn the songs and play with us, and we'll pay him good money and take care of him, and just a stand-in fun thing. And he said thank you, but no thank you to that one. But some things started to grow in his mind, and I think he actually went to that show and watched it with us. And then I asked his management, is it okay if I send some H.E.A.T CDs, just like a friendly gesture? They were like, okay, you can send them. So I sent the H.E.A.T CDs, and at the same time, I think we started talking with friends. You know, we have friends in the Swedish music business, and I think Erik was approached by many ways. He heard about H.E.A.T everywhere he went.
I even met him at this festival. I was there, and I just saw him. He came with a bunch of record label guys. And he was like, I was like, "Hey man, how's it going?"
Was that the Sweden Rock or?
No, it's a festival called Getaway Rock Festival.
Okay.
So I talked to him for a bit there as well, and said to him that you should really consider it. And he was like, yeah, sure.
And considering festivals, you always played many festivals. In those occasions, you of course play to a mixed audience, not just H.E.A.T fans. What's your trick to make new prisoners, to win a new audience?
I think it's that we try to involve the audience in the show. Yeah. It's not just like what you see is what you get, take it or leave it. It's like we have a lot of catchy tunes with a lot of sing-along bits and pieces, and even when I do the drum solo, I try to engage the audience in the solo. It's not just like, look at me, I can play this fast.
Okay.
It's like I try to make people sing with the drum solo, and that's something we all do throughout the entire show, and I think that's our best weapon to catch new prisoners when playing at festivals.
So Dave, you left the band in 2013 and get back in 2016. How different is for you this second journey with H.E.A.T?
Well, for me personally, it's I feel like before I left the band, it was it was sort of tense, the vibe in the band, and I don't know, I just feel like this break has been very good for both me and the band as well. I think it's way more comfortable, like the social structure in the band is like we're having a good time, like always.
Good.
So that's fucking brilliant, Well, brilliant. That's awesome.
Okay. Is there a band you really appreciate in the newer rock scene that you maybe also consider like partners in crime?
Partners in crime? In the new rock scene?
Yeah.
How new is new?
Oh, well, let's say in the last 10 years when you started.
Art Nation is a cool band.
Okay.
Vad tänker du på?
No, sorry, I'm speaking Swedish. We've been pretty close friends to Crazy Licks, I guess, during the years.
But they started like 15 years ago. but they have some new members that are really young. So,
but like Eclipse as well.
Yeah.
You know them guys. They're good guys. They're making great music.
Yeah, that's true.
Hardcore Superstar as well.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're in a rock band in Sweden, you meet a lot of other bands, and they're usually good guys, and they usually play good music. So,
ABBA, Europe, Yngwie Malmsteen, and Hardcore Superstar. Which is the Swedish artist that you feel proudest as fellow countryman?
ABBA.
Okay, you directly. Okay, we use the same question.
Yeah, I think so. I think so, because they made it biggest out of all
but
those.
But they're
songs.
also very, very good.
Yeah.
Both when it comes to songwriting and like
very much
they
indeed.
had an amazing career. But I mean, it's very from a like musician point of view, it's very good music, like, and a songwriter's point of view, I think it's amazing.
So all of you own an ABBA record at home?
Yeah.
I guess everybody in Sweden, but you know.
Yeah, I
do?
think it's very common.
Okay.
People have ABBA records.
In the first 10 years, which has been the toughest moment for H.E.A.T?
In the first 10 years?
Yes, this first 10 years.
Vad säger du?
Toughest.
Var det jobbigt att lämna bandet?
Ja. Var det jobbigt när jag lämnade bandet?
I'd say when Dave left the band, that was tough.
Yeah, it was tough.
But now he's back. So.
Now he's back, so we're happier than ever.
And so, what would you define your absolute triumph up to now? Having Dave back?
Yeah. Sky Davids. Fuck yeah, man.
Good. So, which is the next step for H.E.A.T? Like touring 5 years now, or?
Yeah, we're gonna tour a lot. Hopefully, it's not gonna take 3 years until we get back here again.
Okay.
So we're gonna try to get back here in maybe within 6 months, or at least within 12 months. So we're gonna focus on touring. We've been focused on songwriting for a long time now. It's gonna be a lot of shows, and I think next summer is gonna be great. A lot of rock and roll festivals.
Yeah, of course.
Coming up. So we're gonna play many shows, and we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And which is the biggest goal you have? How do you imagine yourself in 10 years? You know, another 10
in 10 years. We talked about headlining Sweden Rock Festival.
Oh wow!
It's the Sweden's largest.
Yeah, I know that very
rock and
well.
roll festival. Yeah, and they
I've
have
been there like 15 years now, so it's my favorite festival all around the world.
Right, okay,
it's the
cool,
best,
that's
you know.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
it's great.
And I know that there are a lot of bigger festivals. We have played a Download festival, for example. It's a lot bigger, and we have played the Grass Pop. That's a lot bigger as well. But,
Yeah. But Sweden Rock is Sweden, so
yeah, it's home turf.
Yeah.
So that's in 10 years. That's as latest.
okay. Thanks very much, guys,
Thank
for
you.
your time.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Great.
Ciao.
Ciao.